Welcome back, everybody. This is Latin's Fight Picks. Today we will go over the fight card for UFC Vegas 88. Tuivasa versus Marcin Tybura coming this Saturday. Sorry, running a little late. It is Friday, just in the afternoon, early afternoon. So we will go over this card now. It's a little late, but let's start this right away. We will start off, and I'm not sure if this is the first fight, but I do have it listed as one of the fights, as a first fight on my sheet. I don't think it's the first fight, but it's in the prelims. But we'll go over this card first, this fight first. Thiago Moises versus Mitch Ramirez. Thiago Moises, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach, 17 wins, 7 losses, 28 years old. Mitch Ramirez, 5'11", 71-inch reach, 8 wins, 1 loss, 31 years old. Thiago Moises is a heavy favorite. And this is one of those fights that could be dangerous for him. So I'm still going to pick Thiago Moises, but Richard Ramirez was fighting at 170. He did really well on the Contender Series against Pratis. He's kind of a tweener. Like, he seems like he's too big for 155, too small for 170. But I think he's fought in both. He's going to be larger. Apparently the reach is about the same, but he seems like he's going to be a lot larger. He's definitely durable. He took a lot of punishment in his Contender Series against Pratis. Fought well against a really tall, dangerous striker. So I was going back. I'm not that confident in Moises, but the thing is he should win this fight. He's got much more experience. Ramirez is taking this on short notice. Moises is the kind of guy that loses against only the top guys, but beats everybody else. Ramirez, as much as he seems like he's pretty good and he's a gamer, I don't think he's at that level. But he is going to be dangerous for Moises. But Moises seems to be handling it pretty well against this level of opponent. I can't really go against him. He is a heavy favorite. I mean, I don't know if he should be this much of a heavy favorite. But, he fought against a really good fighter. He fought Saint Denis, and he got kind of dominated. But then Saint Denis is very durable, kind of walked right through him and took the fight. Ramirez, on the other hand, he fought Pratis. He put up a good fight against Pratis. But, to me, I don't think Pratis is as good as he's hyped up to be. And the last time I bet against Pratis, he actually ended up winning. But he fought Giles, and Giles was beating him in that fight. Apart from the durability of Giles, Pratis was losing that fight. So, and not that saying Giles is bad, but I think when you compare Giles to his division and Moises to his division, I think Moises is in a higher level compared to everybody else. So Moises is going to be the pick. He could end up making this look real easy. But Ramirez is one of those question marks. Yeah, so Moises is going to be the pick. Moving on. Charalampos Gregaro versus Chad and Helliger. Gregor, what do we call him? Lampos? Charalampos, 5'7", 67.5-inch reach, 8 wins, 3 losses, 31 years old. Chad and Helliger, 5'6", 64.5-inch reach, 12 wins, 7 losses, 37 years old. I mean, the metrics are on Gregaro's side. Taller. He's got a 3-inch reach advantage. But I think Helliger in general is usually the smaller fighter. He's usually a little shorter. But there's one thing we know for sure. He's very durable, and he's very much a gamer. He knows he's got some power. He's very awkward. He's not too bad on the ground. He's very well versed everywhere. I don't know if he's sensational everywhere, but he's very well versed. He's 37 years old is the big question mark, but he seems like he's really not fading. I think he's actually getting better. From the last time I saw him in the fight before, I actually thought he improved his ground game. He's still got some power. I don't think he's going to be a contender by any means, but he's going to be the gatekeeper for these guys coming into this league. And looking at Gregaro, I think he's very tough. He's very durable. But the level of competition that I've seen him fight is, it's not UFC level. So he's looked fantastic against that level. And so he's coming in with a lot of hype, but he seems like he's very tough, and he seems to like he hits hard. I kind of went back and forth on this one. It's Greece versus Calgary. And, you know, I like Calgary. Big fan of Calgary. Um, anyways, well, I live in Calgary if nobody knows. But yeah, so he's a hometown guy. Nevertheless, I actually think, you know, he's going to be able to pull this off. I think he's going to have some success on the ground. I think he's tough. I think he's durable. I think he's going to be awkward. Gregorio is going to be like a bull and he's going to keep attacking. He's got dangerous leg kicks. I think Angeliger is a veteran and I think he's got a lot of experience and I think he's going to be able to pull this victory off. Low level of confidence, but I think Angeliger is being underestimated here and I think we're overestimated Gregorio. I think he's looked great against lower level opponents. Moving on. Jacqueline Amarin versus Corey McKenna. Jacqueline Amarin, 5'3", 67.5-inch reach, 7 wins, 1 loss, 28 years old. Corey McKenna, 5'3", 8.5-inch reach, 8 wins, 2 losses, 24 years old. Corey McKenna, you know, I mean, she's got like a 9-inch disadvantage in reach. She's like a little midget, right? She's very awkwardly built, but she's stout and she's durable and she will not quit. She's good on the ground. She's a striker. She's going to have a huge reach disadvantage. It's nothing that hasn't happened before. She still strikes with everybody, but she's a good wrestler. She gets to the feet. It's going to be dangerous for her getting on the ground with Amarin. Amarin is very dangerous on the ground. She can be tall. Well, I don't know if she's going to be tall. Obviously, it says the same height. I actually don't think McKenna's 5'3", but Amarin's going to be lanky. She's going to have long arm length. But here's the thing. Amarin, very pretty girl, great on Instagram. I think she's dangerous on the ground, but I don't think she's just a grinder and a real dog, so to speak. Like McKenna's just going to bring it to her. Is going to bring it to her for 3 rounds. I think Amarin's going to be really dangerous in the first round. I think McKenna's going to wear on her. I don't think she'll be able to catch McKenna in a submission. I think McKenna's just going to be on top of her, wearing on her, and Amarin's slowly going to start to break. She'll be dangerous throughout the fight, but I don't think she's going to be able to catch McKenna. McKenna's been in there with some other grapplers. I don't think Amarin's some kind of stellar grappler. She was fighting against Sam Hughes. I'll never forget that. I bet on Amarin, and Sam Hughes just kind of weathered the first round and just kind of weathered all the submissions and just overpowered. I mean, Amarin just wasn't strong enough to pull off the submission. I don't know if that's going to be the case here because McKenna is smaller, but she is stout and she's fairly strong. So I don't know if Amarin can even lock up something like that she can't get out of. Kind of like Sam Hughes. But it's going to be a close fight. I think McKenna's the favorite. I think she should be the favorite. I don't think Amarin's shown us enough. I think she's talented in grappling. I think she's still going to have a job in UFC, even if she loses. Everybody seems to like her. But McKenna, you know, is going to come through and probably win this. Moving on, Josh Kulibov versus Danny Silva. Josh Kulibov, 5'10", 73-inch reach, 11 wins, 2 losses, 29 years old. Danny Silva, 5'11", 70-inch reach, 8 wins, 1 loss, 27 years old. I watched Danny Silva's on the Contender Series. I mean, this guy likes to fight, likes to brawl, and he really brings it, and he's an exciting fighter. But I haven't seen him really fight. I mean, he hasn't fought at UFC level. Kulibov, I remember when he first came into the UFC, I mean, this guy's literally evolved in the UFC. He wasn't really that talented in a lot of things. Like, it seemed like he started his mixed martial arts career late. And you've seen him develop and become a better and better fighter. He's got good cardio. He's very durable. He's good striker. He's developed a decent ground game. And overall, he's very talented physically. And I'm surprised that, you know, how many people are picking Silva to win. I just don't see that. I think Silva is a real tough guy, but I don't think Kulibov, I don't think we're giving him as much credit for all his improvements. And he's young. He's got a great attitude. And he's got a huge gas tank. I think Silva's going to slow down as the fight goes on. I think Kulibov's going to be about the same. And he's fought a high level of opponents. You know, I got to go with Kulibov on this one. We'll see how good Danny Silva really is because now he's actually in the UFC. Moving on, Jafel Filo versus Ode Osborne. Jafel Filo, 5'7", 68.5-inch reach, 15 wins, 3 losses, 30 years old. Ode Osborne, 5'7", 73-inch reach, 12 wins, 6 losses, 32 years old. I mean, Ode Osborne has got these long, lanky arms, and he can reach you from a distance. He's very fast. He's very explosive, but he does wear down. Filo, I've seen him very durable. You know, when he first came to the UFC, you know, he seemed really dangerous on the ground. But if you ever watch him on the feet, he's very tough. He's very durable. His striking is actually not that bad. And yeah, I mean, every time I've seen him fight, he's looked better and better and better. And Osborne, he looks like he's been slipping. And I think he's got a certain amount of talent, and he's very explosive, a great striker. He seems like he pulls out once in a while these crazy submissions because he's tall and lanky, but he just doesn't have enough oomph. You know what I mean? Like, to me, in this fight, he's just going to get worn on. And I think he's going to break. And I feel Filo's going to keep coming. I don't think he's going to be able to knock Filo out. Filo has, you know, I think he's got a great chin. So I'm not really even worried. I've seen him get cracked and still kind of find his way through it. Osborne, I have not seen him get cracked and find his way through it. I think Filo's, if he lands, is going to hurt Osborne way more than if Osborne lands on Filo. Filo, if he gets Osborne to the ground, he's going to be very dangerous. He's going to be able to control him. And I don't think Osborne's going to be able to submit Filo if he's on his back. Filo's going to be the pick. You know, I think he's looking better and better. I think Osborne is looking worse and worse. Moving on, Josiana Nunes versus Chelsea Chandler. Josiana Nunes, 5'2", 67-inch reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 30 years old. Chelsea Chandler, 5'8", 68-inch reach, 5 wins, 2 losses, 33 years old. You know, I bet on Nunes the last time she fought, and I think she fought Farron, and I thought it was a slam dunk. Nunes, excellent striker. Her metric, I didn't like her metrics. Her metrics, she's 5'2". She's just short. I don't even think she's 5'2". She's got these long arms and this really short body. But she's got a lot of gas. She's got great striking. She's very durable. And I remember betting on her against Farn and watching that first round and wondering what the hell was going on, because Farn was just piecing her up and hitting her and throwing uppercuts. She was so much taller with so much better reach. And Farn is not like she's really an excellent striker, but she was throwing out those strikes and she just did not even miss Nunes. And apart from Farn wearing down and Nunes coming back and winning that fight, I mean, Nunes was going to lose that fight. Farn by far was the better striker. She's not fast. She was just throwing out well-timed, well-placed punches, and it was landing every one of them on Nunes, and Nunes could not get close to her. Every time she would be throwing, she'd be hitting her in the shoulders and just reaching it. It looked so bad. I was really worried for a while there, especially against Farn, who's absolutely the worst. I mean, she is. She's the lowest level in the women's division. Well, maybe there's one other one, but she's right there at the bottom. Chelsea Chandler, you know what? From the moment she came here, I was betting against Chelsea Chandler. So I don't think she's that talented. I think she's just a big piece of meat in there, you know, kind of running through it. But it seems like she has been working on her striking and her grappling, and she has been improving. She's 33 years old. I don't know how much more she's going to improve, but she's big, you know, and this is the problem that Nunes is going to have. She's going to run into somebody who's big, and I don't think Chandler's going to wear down. I mean, I remember watching Chandler against Stoliarenko, and she just dominated her, you know, but that's happened to Stoliarenko. She doesn't get her arm bar. She just gets beaten up on the ground. But Chandler fought, what's her name? The immortal, Dumont. And it was pretty funny because the first round, everyone keeps talking about it when Dumont cracked her, and Chelsea Chandler just basically sprinted to the other side of the octagon to clear her head and put herself up against the cage. And everybody was laughing. It wouldn't have been so funny if she had won, but she ended up losing. Because I remember Vergara did the same thing where he was getting chased around the ring, but he ended up winning the fight. And nobody brings that up. But nevertheless, you know, she's durable. She survived that. She fought Dumont, who's a very good fighter. very powerful. She made a fairly good account of herself, and they were roughly the same size. I went back and forth on this one. This was my lowest confident pick. I want to go with Nunes, but after what I saw against Farn and how susceptible she is to the metrics and Chandler, I mean, is she worse than Farn? You know, they're right about that same level. Maybe Chandler's a little better. Definitely got more cardio. I'm going to go with Chandler. I mean, I can't believe I'm really saying this. It's the first time I'm actually betting on Chandler. Yeah, I mean, I think she's just going to be too big and too durable and going to be able to last those rounds. And maybe she'll be able to get Nunes on the ground and pull this off. And don't get me wrong, I think Nunes got a lot of talent in striking, but I just think her body's not going to allow her to take advantage of certain things, like being a good striker, because she's so short. And as long as Chandler minds her P's and Q's and doesn't get tagged up too much, I think she's going to be able to win this. Chandler's going to be the pick. Low level confidence. We'll see what happens. Anything can happen in this fight. Moving on. Nathan Levy versus Mike Davis. Nathan Levy, 5'9", 71-inch reach, 8 wins, 1 loss, 32 years old. Mike Davis, 6 foot tall, 72.5-inch reach, 10 wins, 2 losses, 31 years old. You know, Nathan Levy seems like he's got flashes of greatness, but he just doesn't seem like he's got that, like I was saying, umph at the last little bit. He just doesn't seem like he's at that level. Like, he's a striker, he's got an okay ground game, he can take people to the ground, doesn't really submit them, he kind of wins minutes. He seems like all the parts are there, but I just don't see him knocking people out. And I think he beats a lot of people in the lower levels. And Mike Davis is not a lower level guy. You don't see him fighting very much for some reason, but I think he's definitely upper mid tier. This guy's got a lot of talent. He's big, he's long. As long as he's got his gas tank fixed and he doesn't get tired, I can't see him losing this fight anywhere against Levy. So, yeah, I mean, easy pick. Mike Davis is going to beat Levy. You know, it's not even much to say. He's just better everywhere. Moving on to the main card. Oh, man. Here's the first guy. Gerald Meerschaert. What a freak this guy is. You know, anyways, before I get started on this guy. Gerald Meerschaert versus Brian Barberena. Gerald Meerschaert, 6'1", 77.5-inch reach, 35 wins, 17 losses, 36 years old. Brian Barberena, 6 feet tall, 72.5-inch reach, 18 wins, 3 losses, 34 years old. I mean, Brian Barberena's moving up in weight class, so he's generally going to be the smaller guy. He's just really pudgy. He's not really built. But then Gerald Meerschaert's almost the same. He's going to be an inch taller, going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. So he's going to be able to land some of his jabs from the outside. They're both at the end of their careers. Gerald Meerschaert's 36 years old. Barberena's 34. He might as well be 36, 37 because he's taken a lot of punishment. It's a good matchup. They're both at the end of their careers. They're not going to be contending. It's going to be entertaining. Barberena's going to have the better gas tank. He's going to be more durable. He's going to be throwing more punches. Gerald Meerschaert, we don't even know who we're going to get. Who is this guy? This is the guy who knocked out, what's his name? Pedro, what's his name from, can't remember his name anyways, who's a really dangerous striker, ends up knocking him out. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous how I bet on the other guy and how Meerschaert just manhandled this guy. I don't even know. He didn't even look like Gerald Meerschaert. And then this is also the guy who, you know, turtled up against, what's his body bags? What's his name? Body bags, Pfeiffer. And then, and then he lost a close decision against the wrestler. I had bet on Meerschaert. I just can't seem to get this guy right. So, I mean, I'm going to make my pick, but maybe don't go with me on this one because Gerald Meerschaert is just a mystery to me because every time I pick him, he loses. Every time I don't pick him, he somehow magically wins against guys he should not even be in the ring with. So, I mean, this guy's like an enigma, like, to me. So I look at him and I just cringe. I'm like, oh, they gotta pick a Mearshart fight. I mean, who the hell knows who this guy really is? You know. Anyways, I'm gonna pick Mearshart again. You know, because Brian Barberena is susceptible to be taken to the ground. Brian Barberena can be controlled on the ground. Mearshart is one of those guys that can submit you at any moment. But in this case, he just has to get close enough to Barberena and control him on the ground. Hopefully he has a gas tank and he'll be able to survive and just not fizzle out and Barberena kind of take over in the third round and beat the crap out of him. You know, not super high confident, but Mearshart should win this fight. But that doesn't mean anything for this guy. Like, this guy is just, I don't even know the words for this guy anymore. Just can't pick this guy's fights. Like, I mean, you just don't know who's going to show up. It's like he's got a double. He's got a twin. You just don't know. If somebody shows up and it's not the same guy. It's crazy. Anyways, oh, I had this way over there. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I had this far away. Anyways, Mearchart's going to be the pick. Low level of confidence. I don't like this guy. I mean, I don't like him. It's not that I don't like him personally. I just don't like picking this guy's fights. This guy's just the worst. I mean, you just don't know who this guy is. Like I said, I think he's a twin. I think there's two of them because he comes out like a totally different guy some fights. Moving on. Penny Kianzad versus Macy Chiasson. Penny Kianzad, 5'7", 66-inch reach, 17 wins, 11 losses, 32 years old. Macy Chiasson, 5'11", 72-inch reach, 9 wins, 3 losses, 32 years old. Penny's very tough, very durable, kind of like a journeyman. She gives everybody a good battle. I don't think she's going to be the champion. I don't think she's going to be in the top 5. Maybe she is in the top 5. It's not a great division, but I don't think she's going to be at that level. What you see is what you get. She's mostly a striker. She has been working on her ground game. She's got some good defense on the ground. She's fighting Chasey Masson, who's got all the physical attributes. He's 5'11", 72-inch reach. This girl should be fighting for the title. But I think she's got a lot of physical problems that she's run into, a lot of injuries, etc., not making weight and all that other stuff that's causing a big problem. But when she is on her game, she's hard to beat, she's hard to get in on, she can fight you from distance, she's got great kicks. And I don't see her losing this fight anywhere apart from it being lost from an intangible that we're not seeing. Macy Chiasson should win this fight. She should have a shot at the title. That's what should happen. But we'll see. Because Macy Chiasson last time was beating Aldana, beating the hell out of her, and then Aldana gave an up kick to the liver, and it ended the fight in the third round. And Macy Chiasson lost. So it's one of those things, you know. You got some real doozies here. You got Mearshart, you got Chiasson, you got a lot of people here that you just don't know what's gonna happen, right? But Chiasson's going to be the pick. I got a high degree of confidence that she should win this. Moving on. Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Delgarian. Christian Rodriguez, 5'7", 71.5-inch reach, 10 wins, 1 loss, 26 years old. Isaac Delgarian, 5'7", 71-inch reach, 6 wins, 0 losses, 27 years old. Isaac Delgarian, I bet against him in the first one because I just wasn't sure if he's for real. But you know what? This guy is a very dominant wrestler, very powerful, really good ground and pound, and he's been going through guys quite easily. But he's gonna reach a certain level, I think, and he's gonna not be as effective. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep winning or just at that point, start losing. But he's 5'7" at 145 pounds. He's not big, but he's very powerful. Ends everything in the first round. So we haven't even seen this guy in the second round. So he's going to fight Christian Rodriguez. And Christian Rodriguez, the first time he fought, I was really impressed with how well he fought against, in the 145-pound division before he went down to 135. And he fought, what's his name? To Pearson? Something like that, Pierce? What's his name? Oh, he's a good fighter too, and he just lost against Brito. What's his name? Rodriguez. Let's check this out. He fought Jonathan Pierce, and I was thoroughly impressed with how he fought Jonathan Pierce and how he actually was beating Pierce in those grappling exchanges and the wrestling exchanges. And the one thing that saved Pierce was the fact that Pierce was 5'11", and he was just a way bigger fighter, really tall, really lanky. Now I think Pierce overpowered Rodriguez in that. Otherwise, he could have lost it. He almost got choked a couple of times. Bulgarian, same type of guy, very powerful. But the thing is with the Bulgarian, he's also 4 inches shorter. He's not as lanky. I don't know if that's going to play a big role because that fight was close. I kind of went back and forth. At first, I thought Bulgarian, just going to be like the same like Pierce, 145, very strong, maybe be able to overpower Rodriguez. But the more I looked at it, the more I think, you know what? Yes. But I don't think it was as much the strength as much as it was the long lankiness of Pierce that beat Rodriguez to the positions. So after going back and forth, Rodriguez ended up coming back. We're always underestimating this guy. He went to 135. He has a hard time getting to 135. He should be at 135. I think Bulgarian should be at 135 too. But Bulgarian's very, very powerful. Rodriguez, he's sneaky. You've never seen this guy really get pounded. He's on the ground, but he doesn't get hurt. He's very good at jiu-jitsu. He's a good striker from the outside. He's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-assuming. You just looking at him and he doesn't look like he's doing a lot, but he's doing a lot. He makes everything look easy. This guy might be better than we really think. We're still underestimating how good this guy is because everybody who's come up and these unbeatable guys, Rodriguez beats them. Now it's Bulgarian. Man, I don't know. Like the more I thought about it, the more I went from Bulgarian, I went to Rodriguez. And I think Bulgarian's going to be very powerful. And I think Rodriguez is going to be calm, cool, and collected. And we'll see what happens after the first round when Bulgarian doesn't take him out. Because if Pierce can't take you out, and all the other guys can't take you out, what makes you think Bulgarian's going to ground and pound this guy? Like, is he that good? Maybe we've underestimated him. Maybe he's that good. He is taking everybody out in the first round, but we just don't know, I guess. I'm going to go with Rodriguez. I just think we keep underestimating this guy. He is fighting at 145. It's the only question mark. It's because he's kind of too small for 145, probably just right for 135, but he has a hard time with his weight. Bulgarian's going to be bigger, just thicker and stronger. But Rodriguez, he's got technique. And he knows what he's doing. I don't know. He's just like a silent assassin. This guy's very unassuming. I'm going to go with Rodriguez. Ovens St. Preux versus Kennedy Nchukwu. Owen St. Preux, 6'3", 80 reach, 26 wins, 17 losses, 40 years old. Kennedy Nchukwu, 6'5", 83 reach, 12 wins, 4 losses, 31 years old. Owen St. Preux. It was a few years ago. Of course, I bet on this guy. And Nchukwu is very not consistent. He's sometimes unstoppable and can take as much punishment as you can throw at him. And sometimes he just gets knocked out. So you just don't know with this guy. And I've seen him have it both ways, where he fights guys and gets beaten up and comes back to win. And then he fights guys where he doesn't seem to be getting beaten up, but then he gets knocked out. But he is very durable. For the most part, you'd think he's very durable, but he does get knocked out. But he's fighting a guy that's 40 years old, that doesn't throw a lot of volume, that's probably only going to be dangerous in the first round. Nchukwu is probably not dangerous in the first round, so that's going to be the real transition right there. Nchukwu is going to be close, going to be gathering information. Owen St. Preux is going to go on the outside. He might get a lucky kick and knock this guy out. So that's the only thing we've got to worry about. But other than that, Owen St. Preux is going to be the smaller guy. He's not going to be as strong. He's 40 years old. He's not going to be as durable. He can't take as good a punch, but he's going to be dangerous in the first round. Nchukwu is a huge favorite. I wouldn't bet on this minus 800. Just absolutely ridiculous. Especially this is the guy who got knocked out by what's his name? The Hans. What's his name? The kickboxer. Anyways, I can't remember. But anyways, he got knocked out. I couldn't believe it. I had money on this guy too. Anyways, he is. I have a high degree of confidence he should win. But this is the thing: is he's one of those guys that he should easily win this fight. But you just don't know. There's guys in here that are just like Mears chart. You just don't know. Nchukwu, you just don't know. Like, you just don't know that that's the guy that's going to come out. You know, these guys will never be champ because they're just not consistent enough. But in this case, he's fighting a 40-year-old guy who's probably just shouldn't be in the UFC at this point. But even then, you just don't know because this guy's so inconsistent. But he should win this fight. He's 6'5". He's a big guy, and high degree of confidence that Nchukwu should win. But there's this one variable you just don't know. I guess in any fight, but in this one in particular. Nchukwu is gonna win. Minus 800. Don't bet it. Moving on, Brian Battle versus Ange Loosa. Brian Battle, 6'1", 77 reach, 11 wins, 2 losses, 29 years old. Ange Loosa is 5'10", 74 reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 30 years old. I made a lot of money betting on Brian Battle. And the guy has got something about him. He's got a great gas tank. He's very durable, and he doesn't quit on himself. And he's very unassuming as well. He's not really built and really muscular. He's kind of flabby. He's kind of like skinny fat. But he's tall, lanky, and he's stronger than he looks. So I like him, and he is the favorite in this one. Ange Loosa, I bet against Ange Loosa last time against that Scottish guy, McKinney or something like that. And Ange Loosa was winning the fight, outstriking him, and then he almost got KO'd and put out. And I was cheering because it was like a part of a huge parlay I had, and I really needed McKinney to win. Or is it McKee? Sorry, McKee. It was McKee. And I was cheering, come on, knock him out, knock him out. He was doing such a massive parlay. And McKee was a huge underdog. And it was so close. Anyways, that's the first time I've seen Ange Loosa actually hurt. But what I saw him is he was actually getting tired, and then he got hurt. So I think Brian Battle's not going to get tired. Ange Loosa's actually pretty good on the ground, but Battle's pretty good on the ground too, and he's got a good get-up game. I don't think he's going to be able to get controlled. He can actually take Loosa down as well. I think he's going to have the metrics on his side. I think Loosa's definitely improved since he first got into UFC. He's very tough. He's very durable. He's not going to get put out, but I think this is Brian Battle's fight to lose. Apart from some lucky shot, I can't see him losing this fight anywhere. So, yeah, Brian Battle's going to be the pick. Moving on, Tuivasa versus Marcin Tybura. Tuivasa, 6'2", 75 reach, 15 wins, 6 losses, 30 years old. Marcin Tybura, 6'3", 78 reach, 24 wins, 8 losses, 38 years old. I mean, the obvious difference is metrics are very similar. Okay, Marcin's got a longer reach, but he's 38 years old. That's what really brings me the most concern. Excuse me, he's an underdog in this one. Tuivasa, I've made a lot of money. I remember betting on him against Lewis, and it was a brawl, and Tuivasa knocked him out. I like Tuivasa, and he's definitely made the most out of his abilities. And he came into the UFC and he was losing a lot, and he kind of fixed his training and got better, and now he's winning. But his only method of victory is going to be knocking Marcin Tybura out. And that's going to be the thing. Is he going to knock out Tybura, or is Tybura going to be able to close the distance and get him to the ground? And we know Tuivasa has got decent takedown defense, but Marcin Tybura is an upper level takedown type of guy. So he's not just some regular guy. He can take down everybody. So, and I've seen him take down everybody. and he could get knocked out. You got to be careful because he can get affected. But you know what? A lot of times he's shown that he's pretty durable. And this is a coin flip fight, 50-50. Now, who are you going to pick? But I've seen Marcin Tybura still have the fire to become champion. And he's still fighting, and he still wants to become champion. And I think he doesn't, I saw him at the weigh-ins. He looked really lean. He's probably going to be faster, probably going to be quicker. Tuivasa looks very heavy, but he's always looked heavy, but he's got heavy hands. He's going to come in there. He's always got a decent gas tank, even though he gets tired, he can push through it. It's going to be, Tuivasa is going to come over here and try and knock him out. And if Tybura gets a hold of him, gets him on the ground, the fight's going to be not over, but this is how Tybura is going to keep getting him on the ground. But all the rounds start with Tuivasa on the feet. It's going to be a 5-rounder. I mean, definitely as the fight goes on, they're both going to get tired. I've seen Tybura get tired. I've seen Tuivasa get tired. And this is the coin flip fight. You just got to go with your gut on this one. A lot of guys are picking Tuivasa. I have a feeling he might be retiring soon. I don't know if he's into this anymore. He's been taking a lot of fights, just money fights. I don't think his goal is to be champion. I think Marcin Tybura still wants to become champion. So I'm going to go with Marcin Tybura because of that attitude. I think Tuivasa is in there for the paycheck. He's going to go in there swinging, going to knock some people out, make some money, and have some fun and drink a shoey. Marcin Tybura wants to win this, and he's going to do it by any means possible. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be grindy. It's going to be everything. And I think he's going to be able to win this. It's going to be close. It's going to be dangerous for him whenever he closes that distance. But if he can get close enough and clinch up with Tuivasa, he's going to figure out a way how to trip him. I'm going to pick Tybura, low level of confidence. He's an underdog. I think he's going to be able to pull this off. Nevertheless, let's go on the board. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Once again, not financial advice. Bet only what you can afford to lose. Take this chart, which is most confident to least confident, and compare it to what you would do with your own research and what you agree with, what you don't agree with. You can take parts of it or some of it, bet individually or in groups of parlays. But nevertheless, my most confident is Nchukwu. He's fighting a guy that should be retired. At minus 800, I wouldn't even bet him. I wouldn't put him in a parlay. I wouldn't do anything. Actually, no, maybe in a massive parlay it would make a difference. But honestly, is it worth the effort or worth the risk? Nchukwu is going to be the pick. Definitely don't bet on it individually. Minus 800, anything can happen. You're not getting a good return at all. Davis, minus 550. These are all from today. I just got these today. They were a lot lower before, like at the beginning of the week. Davis, high level of confidence. He should beat Levy. I don't think Levy's at that level of him. Minus 550. I don't know if it's bettable. Individually, it's not, but unless you have him in a parlay. Moving on, Moises. Moises has fought the upper level of competition. Ramirez just showing up, apart from some kind of weird lucky move. Moises should be able to win this. He's going to be smaller. But yeah, this guy, we already know this guy's good. Ramirez, he's okay. So high level of confidence, Moises should win this. But it's going to be a dangerous fight against a fairly unknown opponent. Brian Battle. This guy beats Angelusa, I think, everywhere. I think he's got a better gas tank. He's very durable. And he's a decent striker. He's good on the ground. Yeah, I can't see him losing anywhere to Angelusa, even though Angelusa I find to be pretty talented. I think this is above his talent level. Macy Chiasson should be fighting for the title. If everything goes okay on this fight, she will be. She should win this. Hopefully all those injuries and everything else have been fixed. She came in on weight at 135. So we'll see. She's very tall. Metrics are really good. She should win this fight. Filo. Every time I see him fight, I'm more impressed by this guy. I think he's tough. I think he's durable. His striking's improving. He's good on the ground. He's fighting Ode Arsborn. I think it's going to be a good springboard for him to move on to bigger and better things. Definitely going to win this fight. Kulibao, I think every time we see him, this guy improves. Everybody says he takes a lot of shots. Yes, Silva does throw a lot of shots, but you know what? I've seen Silva land a lot of shots to a lot of guys and not knock them out. And I'm wondering exactly how powerful those shots are. Don't get me wrong; it looks like he can throw, but I think Kulibao has fought the higher level of opponents, fought on the ground, fought on the feet, and yeah, I think he's still developing. I think this guy's going to win. McKenna, little midget, very durable, like a little Tasmanian devil in there. And she's going to fight the, Instagram superstar, UFC model. So, McKenna, she's got nothing to lose. She's not going to be the Instagram model. She better win this fight, Amarin's got options. So, Amarin's good on the ground, not good on the feet. McKenna, she can still fight on the feet. She's used to getting inside, and throwing punches. Very, very tough girl. I got to go with her. She's very small, but I think Amarin's the level that she could beat. Moving on, Christian Rodriguez. We've underestimated this guy, and we'll see what this next prospect, is coming up with Bulgarian. Don't get me wrong, Bulgarian looked very powerful, really good ground and pound. I just don't think that's not how it's going to play out against Rodriguez. I think he's got too much talent. Rodriguez is going to be the pick. Mir's chart, of course, kind of at the bottom here. I mean, this guy should win this fight, but is it his twin brother or his the other twin brother? Because we don't know which Mearshard's going to show up. But realistically, if we're going to make a pick, going to make a play, yes, Mearshard should win this. It's in his division. He's going to have the way better ground game. Barberena, we know, can get controlled in the ground. This guy should win it. Barberena doesn't have knockout power. This guy should win it. But hey, you never know. And Helliger, the Calgary boy, you know what? I think he's getting better. He's 37 years old. He's durable, and I think he's continually getting better. And the last time I see him fight against Johnson, I thought he looked really good on the ground against a guy that was like literally 5 inches taller than him and like a 7 or 8 inch reach advantage. I think he did pretty good. He ended up getting submitted in the last 10 seconds. But up to that point, I think he was putting up a really good fight against potentially a really good fighter. So I think he's serious. I think he wants to stay. His back's up against the wall. He's fought a good level of competition. I think he's going to upset the new guy. Yeah, and Helliger to win. Tybura, what a coin flip fight. Opposite styles, but I think this guy still wants to be champ and the other guy just wants to get a paycheck. That doesn't mean the other guy can't get that one power shot and knock him out. He has been KO'd before, but I think Tybura's a tricky guy to fight, and he's very, how can I put it? He's got really good balance, and in these struggles of pushing and pulling, he always seems to end up on top. So I'm gonna go with him with winning this fight in a close decision. Chandler, I'm going with the metrics. Nunes really disappointed me with how much she was getting tagged up by the taller fighters. She's durable, she's got great striking, but she needs to get in close enough for that. I think once she gets in close enough, I think Chandler might get a hold of her and maybe take her to the ground. She's just a big brute, a big piece of meat, like I was saying. I don't think she's that talented. But in this case, the metrics are going to be playing a very important role. Chandler's going to be the pick, low level of confidence. As I was saying, take this for what it is. And I never drew lines on it. I was not sure if I were running a parlay. I never actually drew lines on it this time. Haven't really put a lot of thought into it. But yeah, there will be a parlay that I'll be having. I'll have definitely a parlay with all these ones on it. Why not? Let's see what happens, right? So, we'll see. All right. Where else do we got to go? Well, thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the content. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Where your head's at about this fight. I think I got a pretty good feel about these fights. I didn't seem to have a really hard time picking them. I mean, there's some I'm more confident than others, that's for sure. So leave a comment below. Hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want to get notified when the next video is coming out. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. Good luck in the fights this week. And we'll try to do a recap next week. I missed it for this week. So we'll see you guys next week.